Insight, you're here. Yeah. And paladin buffs need to go out. Beps did change them.
Alright, welcome guys to the Cthulhu Trash and beyond. So what's going to happen here is we're going to be
Casters, you
pulling
haven't been told to
the
do anything because you're
the
just
most
stacking
dangerous
here
trash
where
packs,
triangles
I
generate.
believe, in the
You
game.
stack here the whole time and stand still. If the mobs
What's
come
going to
to you for
happen
whatever
is
reason,
we
you can kind of
have
back away
our
if you want.
tanks pre-assigned
And then when they leave,
to
you
what
can go
mob they're
back.
going to be tanking when the
Treat it
mob
like
comes in.
Sartori, okay? If she comes to you, don't just stand there and take it. Walk back a bit, get some distance,
You'll
look if you
see
have to,
like
and then
down
come back in when it's safe.
the hallway there.
But
You
you
can
should
see
be
the
standing here the
packs
whole
are there.
time, okay? On this
Very
staircase.
important just to, like most trash
Inside.
packs in this dungeon, that you
Melee, you should be kind
don't
of starting where triangle is.
do
Because we're going
anything
on
that
Sky
could
first.
cause aggro
So if
during
you're
the
not
pull.
assigned to an off-tank or tank
We have a
position, you should be just
hunter
here
go in there
and
with
try
their
to avoid
pet,
the kill Sky.
and
Okay?
then they will, pull with their pet.
Yes.
The pet will die, and then the mob will be on its way. So like I said, we have our tanks pre-assigned to their marks that they're going to tank and the positions that they're going to tank them in. I'll get a good shot of that during the pull. Very important here, just to follow the kill order and understand, what's happening when it's happening. So going through the mobs that are in here, there are the Karaji Mindslayers. I'm just targeting one now. And the
Alright.
thing with this is
Yeah,
that they mind
You
control
only pull if it's safe.
and they mind flay in fear.
If you think it's safe, you can.
There's 2 priests in group 3. We should.
It's turning around. Not.
So what's going to happen is during that mind control,
we really have to do skull first.
someone is going to be mind controlled. Obviously, you want to do CC on them. They're not going to have control of their character. But the important thing is that the mind flayer could mind control their tank. So it's important to understand when that happens, and if you are assigned to off-tank it,
you can take those back if you want.
or if you're going to, if you're another class that can tank with a shield on, that you pick it up and take it to its spot, just as a proactive kind of move to keep the raid safe. The next ones are the Karaji Slayers. They're like mini Sartoras, the previous boss in this dungeon. They spin, they cleave, they enrage. Very dangerous to have multiples of them.
Left, X to the torch,
So here we go, here's the pull.
Square to the torch.
Tanks will be in there, pulling up their mobs.
Pull them out, stone shield, shield up. Get ready on magic dust.
The pull is probably the most important part, because all those mobs are like just stacked up on each other, and if you do aggro while they're on the run to the raid, it's extremely possible that you could just straight up die, right? That's what happened right there. Is I did get mind flayed by the Mind Slayer. Not a big deal. It's just an untargeted mind flay, and what happens is you're feared for the duration. When the mind flayer dies, you will get feared, just like I did.
Where do I spam Dispel Priest on champion?
Yeah, line of sight.
You want to be line of sight of the Mind Slayer when they die, because they do a fear, like I had gotten feared on the first one. That was just shown as an example. For the champions, they have an enraged mechanic that can be trank shotted, I believe, or it's the slayers that can be trank shotted. Hunters should just have trank shot at the ready.
Yeah, that would be great. But I don't know who would do that. Oh, loot isn't here. Alright, ready? Also, you saw that human and Phoenix got hit by the cleave, because they went in straight away, so sometimes you can just wait melee, like a half a second. You won't get hit. If you get hit by 4 at a time, you just die. Getting hit by 1 and 2 is fine.
Can you mark up circle if I pull it down?
Yep. I'll mark it as it comes in. If you pull it.
Yep, pulling it.
Is it double?
Single.
This is single.
Good.
Square is unmarked currently.
So here we go.
Trying to find it. There it is.
Another pull.
Now, melee don't go in yet. Check leaves. Shields on. Stone shield.
Which is very important that you don't go in like right off the rip as a melee, because like all these like slayers are going to be whirlwinding.
Go to
You just
X.
want to know where Skull, the
Ready,
first kill
CC
target's
moon.
going to be pulled,
CC.
and then you react accordingly from there. Simply because if you go in there and you pop a whirlwind to get some damage in,
Magic
they all
Flash,
target
keep it up.
you.
There might be
One
another
attack
mob
from
coming.
each of them, you die.
Fastest
Right?
kill moon. Melee. I've run out at the last
A little bit
second.
more on this Mind Slayer. If you are line of sight of the
Fear
Mind
then block.
Slayer, you will not get feared. So
Line of
I'm
sight.
gonna
Line
be
of
line
sight.
of sight here.
Agreed it.
It'll die. I don't get feared. Right? So very, very easy. Champions are being tanked by 2 tanks because the champion
Good so
does
far.
like a
More of the same.
knockback and fear. So we want both of our tanks,
Watch third on that knockback there, melee. You could aggro
2
if
tanks
it's
there
not
on the
too
aggro
far.
table, maintaining top threat in case that
It
in
does
case
aggro.
one of the tanks gets feared and or knocked back,
that's fine.
loses
That's
aggro, what
actually
have
fine.
you, and then the
If you get feared, you're not gonna get
off
feared
tank
in the
can
back.
pick it up
Alright,
from there.
X mark. I will.
Rolling now.
Yep, incoming. Same pack as last time. That's 1 flare. Shadow protection's good as a melee. As a range. Stone shield is better as a melee.
So we're getting to a groove here. We got relatively
Watch the
lucky
door.
on the
Watch
pathing
the flays in the
here.
door. Do not get flayed. Tanks pull out. Remember, if your tank gets knocked, you immediately taunt off tanks. There is it. There it is. Yep.
Okay, so the champion's probably the hardest to get out of the raid.
It's coming through you. You
Just
hop up.
because like of the knockback,
I
right?
see.
Because like they're carrying their abilities up.
Knockback gouge.
They're carrying their abilities up like as they run
Not
down,
fantastic.
right? So like their abilities are just
Tarian's going for a wonder.
almost used as soon as they get into the door. So just something to be prepared for.
Alright,
Remember,
ready
if
to
you're
line it
far
and
enough
30%
away from the
damage.
Mind Slayer or line of sight of it, you can dodge the fear when it dies. It's not a big deal if you do get feared, but you do want to avoid it in the future packs because of what can happen. Like you can get feared into another mob, and then we have to patch you out.
Sorry, Rain, if I caused you to have a brown stain.
That's how most of these packs are going to go for the first like 4 or 5 pulls.
Yeah, we still pull it to here, I believe. It might be a pet pull. That's fine.
And then we're going to move
Check your
up.
food, alcohol, fire, water, shadow protection, stone shield, weapon buffs. Yeah, when the mind control player gets mind controlled, Jed is putting Curse of Recklessness on them so that they can't get feared. It also gives them a damage buff. So just try not to dispel it if you can, healers. No, it's hard not to.
Run True Shot now.
Tanks get some rage.
You've always been able to run True Shot.
Means Hawk.
Alright, pulling
No.
To it.
No, don't say that.
Okay, so we're just waiting for the next pack to come in.
Remember melee, there are 4 spinnies here, which means lots of damage if you run into them like a fucking idiot.
I think they're on their way. We'll find out here in a
off-tank
second.
spinny, equip that shield.
Yep.
It's coming in now.
Incoming.
So on the longer pulls, still very important not to do anything that
Yeah,
causes
you should be down the
aggro,
staircase,
because
nowhere near the
if we
fucking
do
house
get
yet.
a double
Unless you're an
pull,
off-tank, tanks
the hunter can still feign death.
We should have big threat on all of them.
You can see that these
Yeah,
slayers are
they're
coming in
they're
enraged.
They're enraged.
Not a big deal. Like it's just as long
Okay.
as you're following the order of operations, you know, like you need to be on square. You're not going in there and whirlwinding
Is it all the same one?
to generate aggro on all of them, and you get one shot and died. So it's just. Then you can see the general positioning of the mobs that we're killing. The markers, I don't know. They can change from time to time, depending on how the raid leader sets them up. But the general positioning will be the same. But you know, marks might be different from raid to raid, depending on who's running the show. Champions will always be at the back because of the knockback.
For the next 2 packs, we're moving up to a different position, which means different tanking positions. Loot the mobs, make sure there's no keys.
This trash has gone relatively smooth. Everyone being disciplined.
Up the hill, yeah.
And it's just important that you loot all the mobs too, because you could have a greater Scarab Coffer Key.
You got it. Okay, don't go up yet. Falcon and I are the only ones up the front, because the pack is currently downstairs. We don't want to pull it yet. Wait
Now
for
we're
it
gonna
to
move
turn
to the
around, everyone just
second.
stay back here. So what I want, the champion will be in this sort of bit that we're in now. It'll be up the hill further. That's sort of where
If the bugs are around the corner.
Skull is. Yeah. Skull. I want Skull on this chest that I'm looking at right now. This coffer key. So Skull will be right here in this wall. X will be around the corner, over here.
So this is the
Square,
second position
hold on, over
that
here,
we're
on this wall.
setting up for the next
make
few
sure you're not
pack
on this side.
pulls.
Sorry, I'm on this wall.
It's not a huge.
X is over
I
here.
mean, positioning is very important. And
And
I'll
Moon
get
is
a
up the hill,
screen,
okay?
like
Not out of
I'll
range of
capture it on
everyone, but
video
just
of
up
where
the hill.
the
Wherever it's safe to tank Moon, you just
the
tank
mobs
it
will
up the hill.
be, tanked.
Okay.
Again, the pull is the most important and dangerous
Well,
part
that's
of this process because of just aggro
and this
generation.
is just a Slayer pack, so this is
You
Stone
want
Shield,
to
Shields
just
on, melee watch
be
yourself.
mindful of what
Melee,
you're
as we run
doing
in, we're going to
when
have
the
to
mob
sort
is
of
on
go
its
through
way to the
some of these
raid,
mobs, so
right?
I would expect you start
This will
turning
be
here, melee.
really, really easy because it's nothing but
Phoenix is around.
Karaji Slayers in this pack. So we will pull the champion out,
Incoming, tanks get
and
ready.
then each tank will pick up their Slayer.
Tanks pick up, put them in position. Don't line of sight your healers, healers don't line of sight yourself. Melee can go through to Skull.
Okay, so you can
Watch
see
where
the
you are, melee,
general
don't include.
position of
Go Skull.
where the mobs are going.
Get square.
Got knocked.
It's alright, just pick it up. Lift casters, lift
Got it,
casters.
I've got it.
So I'm
Get away
silenced
from
right
it.
now.
Okay, treat it like Satura, get the fuck away from it.
Cleanse healers, there's a lot that are sounds right now.
Yeah, close healers with silence.
So kind of scary there. A
Or your
Slayer got
did you see
loose,
Scarabs
right?
getting fucked
Your
with
what?
healers?
And then
DPS
they
them,
came in
it's
and
a
silenced the
DPS
raid.
up.
So it's just
They're getting
a
pushed
lot of
back
healers
into
got
yourself.
silenced there.
Love the coffee key.
But the
Give me 1 second.
raid, was
That's it.
semi-stable. But it's important to recognize the situations, stay
Next
calm.
pack.
If you're
Yeah,
not
same-
getting
next pack is
cleansed,
sort of the same position.
that is something that you can call
Quite a
out,
long
in
pullback,
comms if
means
you
things
need,
like players might stall.
because you're a healer. You need to get
Don't shield, shadow
cleansed.
protection, food, alcohol. Call it when you need it, Falcon. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Melee, you should be waiting for the Slayers to be spread apart before you go in, or you'll just eat damage that the tanks are meant to take.
Spread 'em.
Healers, you should be back a little bit,
Pulling into
get silenced. Stay in range of that tank who's up the hill. That's the hard part.
Okay, so the pull has been made. Nothing but Slayers yet again. But they're on their way to the raid, right?
Get
So
ready,
any
they're all very
aggro
safe,
that
be
you're
careful.
generating,
Otherwise,
just
the
don't.
tanks. They're spinning
You
now.
can see
They're standing
the
still,
Slayers are all
they're
spinning and now they're in rage.
Run
So
in and die.
dangerous
Attack
situation.
taunt. Yeah. Off tanks, get them out. Dispel.
So maybe I shouldn't have ran so far up because I did
Stay in
get
range of
silenced
IC,
here,
kill Skull.
but I'm also not getting cleansed. So
Refuel.
Kill X.
the reason
Stay
why
in range of IC.
ran up there is because I know one of our tanks, where Moon is being tanked, I was out of range, but I'll be better on the next pack. Maybe I shouldn't have moved up
Okay.
as soon as I did that.
Alright, for these next packs, it'll be Ranzig tanking the, it'll be Sloppy tanking the big guy. It'll be Tracker's Golem. It'll be Ranzig on Skull. And it'll be Summon on X. Shav, you can also tank.
Repally 15.
Check your keys. Just X with Summon. We only need 4 tanks, so it's hard to say. I want the big, basically when we pull these, I want the Anubisath Warder to go down the hill, like where Triangle is now. I want the water away from everyone. I want the nullifiers
Okay,
up the
so
stack.
we're
Stacking left.
getting to the later stages of the trash here.
Yeah, but the nullifiers will be at the top right, sort of where I am.
The problem with dragging the warder through that is potentially
The packs
does
coming up.
shit. Well, so the whole raid should stack
okay.
left if you drag it right.
It's,
That's
I don't
fine.
know. To me,
I
it's
just
like
want
just a
the
huge
back
nothing
left to cross over,
burger,
but that's fine.
right? The obsidian nullifiers, they don't. You want to make sure their mana stays low. The Obsidian Warder has like many different little abilities that don't really matter.
Stack skull on X. I want mana burns on X. Every
A
mana burn on X,
silence,
please. And kill skull fast. Kill skull fast.
a stomp, you know. And see there,
Dusty, bad damage.
there's the hit reduction, the dust cloud. You just cleanse that off
And
the
magic on
melee.
melee, please.
It's not a huge.
Mana drain X. Mana drain X hard.
You can see we're mana draining X here. And then the warder. The only time that this gets dangerous is if the mana on those
Best DPS. Why'd you dispel me?
these obsidian nullifiers
Yeah.
gets 100%. They explode and the raid wipes. But
Fear. Fear ward sloppy. Please have fear.
It's fears that the spell was.
Yeah, these ones done.
so not a huge
Yeah,
deal.
same shit.
We're gonna do the same thing on this side.
Get some rage if you want it.
And Yahoo get a resell constant.
As a ranged, you probably want to stay away
Exactly
from the
off.
Anubisath Warder.
Everyone's back on
Um,
left, in the same positions.
Same position. Mana draining X, killing skull. Should be using cooldowns. We're not fighting any bosses yet right now. Yeah, what on the tank? Pulling it away.
So he's really good DPS on the nullifiers. Now we're back to the warder. The warder's like little abilities. One, like you see on the last pack, was a dust cloud. It just reduces the your hit rating or hit percentage by 80% or 85%. Just cleanse it off the melee.
No.
Tanks, click off
He
yourself
has a
again.
little fear
not your
that you seen on the last warder.
And
Okay.
we need to pull it
Um,
a fair bit
and there's like a fire, like
Yeah.
a flame
I'm just
shock.
we're gonna wait for it because I need to explain where to tank it here.
You'll see
turn
that
around
we
like
have
45
new
minutes
positions
time
for
as well,
this
boys.
next pack. These are the exact same
so I
packs
want-
that
so I
we've been
want-
doing,
There's only one skull here.
except this
Skull's
one
going to
is
be
particularly dangerous because
basically
we have
in the middle.
3 of the
Pretty much,
Kiraji
doesn't
Mind
really matter, just
Slayers.
Keep it in the middle.
So that
straight away.
means
I
potentially,
want square.
we'll
and
have
moon
3 of our
on the
tanks
left
get mind
side, please. I want
controlled.
square, sort of
And then so we
where
need
Phoenix
3
is
off
going.
tanks, to pick them
square
up
kinda here.
as they get mind controlled, and then we'll have
And I want moon
potentially
further in,
3
just like here.
mind flays on
on this pack.
Yeah, big
you know,
CC,
different,
Magic Dust, Blind, Hodge, Poly,
people in the
Hydra,
raid.
Dark
Could be
Beast.
3 healers all at once, so healing could be weaker. So it's just very, very important
Oh,
Yeah,
champion.
over.
that you
Champion
know
over
what's
here.
going on.
Triangle is.
Keep your head on a swivel and CC the mind controlled folks
And then X is
when
the
you can.
tricky
Magic
one.
Dust, Sheep, Hammer of Justice, Stun.
X will have to actually.
Whatever you
champion
can do to
go deeper,
help.
Please, Jack, if you can go one more
Um,
over, I want champion.
Try not to put like a dot on the mind controlled
put
people,
X
like
in
a
this
deep
copy.
wounds or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Get ready. X is going to be on triangle right now. Okay.
I will get a good shot of the new tanking
And
positions
skull just in the middle. Remember, guys.
of each mob.
Starts to walk away.
Yeah. Circle will turn around.
Again,
soon, and
the
skull will
markers
turn
might
around.
change from raid to raid. You can just see the general positioning of the
It's
mobs,
behind.
and then like
I
if you're
want it.
tanking these in the future,
Incoming.
at least you'll know where to stand.
You let Yahoo and Ranza get the skull.
So the pull's been
Oh,
made.
CC hard here.
Just
Okay,
want to
guys?
watch out any ambient threat that you're doing during the
Off
pull.
tank, off tank, off tank.
So we have
Fine,
a
you guys
champion
get healed,
loose,
Ranza
not a
can-
problem. Our off tank got
Ranza
it.
can tank this. It's fine. Yahoo's got
I
it.
know it's full.
I do not
Kill
have.
it. It's alright. It's dead.
Okay,
Ranza
so
got it. Let's kill square. Please.
kind of dangerous. The Slayer was in the middle of us,
It's fine.
enraged, right? So one spin there could have been lots of raid damage.
Run out early melee.
Now you can see that we're tanking 2 on one side,
You can see?
2 on the other. Right, we got the champion over there, a mind slayer over there. We have a
Moon,
mind
run away from
control
it.
on
Casters finish moon.
survive there. So it's
CC.
CC on IC winner.
The other pack's
Right, so
dying
it's just
as
like a
well.
lot of things that are going on at the same time.
Your X, when
But
it's low,
if
run
you
out.
know, what's going
Run
on,
out.
it becomes less
Deal
overwhelming.
on ransack, please. It's alright, both the
So
tanks for the
it's,
Karate
and
champion
then,
got
so the
light
last
weight
Mind
immediately,
Slayer is
which is
dead,
something that can happen.
and now we're gonna deal with the champion.
Ransack AoE taunted, which is correct.
So what happened there
You can
with
tank
the
triple
the champion at the
standard
beginning?
is fine.
It got loose. Like either one of our tanks or both of our
Yeah, wait
tanks
on
that were
mana.
assigned
You
there
guys are
got
ready.
knocked back.
Mana
We
break
had
plus the other
another
thing.
warrior challenging shout and bring it into position for control. Right. So
You might
a
be
play
able to
like
use
that
this
from
layer
a
for
tank
Yeah.
just helps us get
Yeah,
back on
These
track
damages
that
go.
much quicker.
What's
So
the silences? I want Skull X left.
if you're noticing
Square
something
mid right.
that's
Okay,
going,
Skull
a
X
little
left,
bit
square mid right.
sideways,
Listen, Skull X left, square mid right.
don't be
Circle
afraid
can
to
stay in
use
the
your
middle.
abilities to
Feel
help
unstoppy
out the
and drop.
raid.
Skull X left. Kill Skull.
So this one's a little bit
Wait for the
easier.
spin.
Nothing
Hammer.
but slayers.
Get out of there.
I don't
Behind
have
you. You're in between
phenomenally
three of them.
Yeah, that's how you
Standing
die.
between three mobs, you're just dying. It's that simple. Dispel.
So I got a good shot of that too. So there was like 3 of them not necessarily stacked on each other, but you as a melee
Move.
could be in range of, all 3 of those spins.
Heals, make
So
sure.
an enraged spin attack from these slayers, does a healthy amount of damage on its own, but taking 3 of them is just very unnecessary and probably fatal damage. So you could die
Sure.
from that.
Okay. Resalve the warriors.
While we're working through the trash, you just want to make sure you're looting everything,
Yeah,
because
let's
we are
pull
hunting
Skull X
for
to
greater
the-
scarab coffer keys for the idols
Skull X to the right. Square to the
that come
left,
from
or
the
right.
chests. For
So
this
Skull
pack
X
up
should be
here,
kind of back
the
where we
tanks
are
can
now,
just waltz right in.
on the right side.
Um,
Tanks ready?
there's nothing special about this pack. It's the nullifiers plus the warder.
Full square to the back left.
Again, it's a big nothing
Ready?
burger, right? But I don't want to downplay the importance of good
Bottom
damage
right,
on the nullifiers, because if their mana gets full, they can and will do lethal damage
Be able
to the
tanks
raid
over there.
once their
Right,
mana gets full.
summit. That's ready.
Anubisath Warrior, like we see, or Warder, sorry, have like a couple random abilities that they could use. One's a fear, one's a dot that we cleanse, a flame strike. That one did
Just pull
absolutely
Skull X
nothing.
right, square left. Square can stay up the hills, Skull X come down. Obviously not over the lip where you would be line of sight, but you know what I mean.
Everyone ready for boom now?
Oh, that's pretty
One
good.
second. Yeah, Gauntlets of Redeemed Prophecy. Incoming?
That's a bit.
Okay, now.
We need to keep going. Let's go. Mana drain, stack tight. Be able on the tanks over there.
Okay, so same thing. You can see we have our 2 tanks over on the Warder, and then the nullifiers are getting
Last wave.
pumped down.
The second this mob dies, I want everyone to GNPP.
First.
Yeah, we'll do Cthulhu first. I do want to do just 1 or 2 sims. Okay. We have enough time for it, so.
Okay, so
Alright, everyone GNPP, run back to Twin Emperor's room, please.
that wraps up the trash for Cthulhu. It is the most dangerous trash
Everyone should have a mount.
in this dungeon.
Beast
That was
will have to leave the
relatively
group, we'll have
smooth.
to summon, and Constance will have to leave the group.
There
Once you guys
was like a
logged
few
off, I can remove
instances
you, make
of,
sure you're
you know,
properly kicked.
parts where it could have been fatal, could have not been. Right, you just need to
Yeah, Roids.
be aware.
Roids and Assay are better than Zanzar on this fight. You should be using them.
So now what we're going to do now is we're going to be doing some Cthulhu practice runs, just so everyone knows their position. Cthulhu is could instantly wipe the raid, right? And I'll be explaining what's going on as it's happening, right? The most important thing Actually, I'll get to it when I get back to Twin Emperor's room.
There's an idol on this one, Bemis, if you want to grab it.
I forgot to add markers. Give me one sec. Let's do star.
Make sure you check the
Man.
signs consumes for your spot.
Yeah, I just need to do markers real quick. I'm gonna repost it.
Okay, so moving on to Cthulhu. Cthulhu is probably
Okay.
the most important about one of the
reposting
most
it as
important
signs
things about
consumes.
Cthulhu is the initial pull itself. So we're going to do a few practice runs here using the Twin Emperor's room. And what's going to happen is there is one of the most important ability that Cthulhu does in phase 1 of his fight is called I-Beam.
Okay,
What
so I
I-Beam
mark
does
myself with square.
is
you mark
it
Frantic with
it targets a
and
single
mark here,
player
so I can
and
mark
casts,
team if I
you'll
miss
see the
another.
cast bar,
Yeah, there you are.
it'll cast
Um,
I-Beam.
Chow with triangle.
Once
Yep.
that player is hit with
You need to
I-Beam,
swap mute
any
on
player,
mount.
that I-Beam can jump to any other player within 10 yards of the initial player hit, and it will continue to chain to other
You'll be able to
people
get there in
that are
time.
within 10 yards of each other,
Am I gonna be ready?
and double
You're
its
going to,
damage
but you
each
still
time it
step on anyway.
hops. So
Tyrese will be circle.
it's
and
very
Yahu
important
will be
that you
moving.
know your spot,
Okay, cool.
because we do not want the
So we've all got our
I-Beam
markers.
to jump more than
I'm just
twice.
gonna do this a dry run of this and see if you can get
Melee
it.
will have their assigned spots around the boss. Some melee will be actually sitting
When
out.
the timer says, yeah, team, you'll just represent Ranzig, so you'll run in at
During the
4
pull,
seconds.
we want everyone
You don't get
hard
in the
on
feet.
the
Everyone else
right
should be on
side of the
square.
wall,
Come to square, guys. Come.
because when the tank pulls, he
And
will
I-
be getting I-beamed right
Yes,
off the rip.
You can't have a mount, that's fine.
4,
Team then.
3,
Wait.
1.
And so we have our
And
tank
this
moving
was,
at
we would intercept the
5,
boss. And
right?
everyone get ready to dismount. And now, dismount.
And then to simulate kind of, the boss dismounting you off your mount,
Once this hits 0, you're out of time, okay? Well, maybe there's a bit more time, but
we just
position,
dismount.
max melee.
On me, Urge.
2,
And then you just get in your
And
position.
Stop moving. Yeah, you'll be able to get there.
So I might be a little bit too close to KJ.
Massey's and Hulk, you're a bit close.
During the
and
fight,
Massey's
I
back
would
a bit
move
more.
further, but
Carly and Lara, you're on top of each other.
for the
So,
purpose of this sim,
Lara, you're nowhere near where you're supposed to be. Okay, cool. I am gonna have to just bench you.
I think
I
you should
apologize.
swap me and Basavia.
Xavier? Okay, Xavier, you okay with that? Xavier again?
You want me to go to where Laura is, or where?
No, where Cass is in the top left. Yeah.
Yep, I can take Cass's spot.
Yeah. And yeah, I forgot to post you, Cabernet. I'm gonna do one more. Yeah, it's not too bad as range.
So Laura, your spot is right into the entrance to the right.
Okay.
You are pretty much closest to where we all going, so you need the least amount of time.
Okay. Laura, you should be to Porpoise's back right, so I should be in your front left. Okay. Just remember to stay 10 yards away.
so they're figuring out there, where everyone needs to be. It's very important to practice, right? Because the I-beam can potentially just kill your raid.
Yeah, don't press anything. Don't blink. Don't.
After you get into position on
Cthulhu and
Cthulhu,
jump. That's the only buttons you're allowed to
you're
press.
just DPSing the boss. There is no threat for
You stay here.
Cthulhu. You're
Team will
just
go early.
full
Wait.
full pump.
Go. When I say dismount, you dismount. Dismount.
Or you're not hitting any buttons here. You generate 0 threat here.
Once you're in position, stop moving.
No good.
5, 4,
Laura,
3,
you need to be here.
2, 1.
See with the jumping gnome is to your right? That's your spot. Go stand on top of him.
Yeah, right there. Okay.
And he won't be there when you're there.
I'll be here.
I got it. There will be someone else between you guys as well, so you have to make sure you're 10 yards away from them. Okay.
We're gonna do it. Alright.
it makes it easy, your spot will look like exactly how it looks like on the picture. Go to that little wedge.
You're cutting out a lot.
My bad. I was just saying your spot will look exactly like it looks like on the picture. So stand exactly where your icon is.
What's everybody using for range 10? Because DBM doesn't work.
It doesn't work. You have to use your eyes. No way to do it.
All right, I'll open my
overguess.
Everyone should have. Oh, yeah. Also, click shadow protection as well.
Variant just posted works.
Just do a top-down view of your character so you can see your surroundings.
I don't care if you're not exactly in the right spot, as long as you're close enough and not near other people, right? That's all I care about.
Okay. So
you should have a shadow pot and a nature pot pre-popped before the fight starts.
Making sure I have everything.
As
you're coming up to
during the fight, if you get IB,
this,
you want, or you can just save it for like Mighty Rage if you're a warrior.
Like Cthulhu's room, you
warriors
can pull him by peeking. So you simply don't peek. I know. Like the urge to like, oh yeah, I want to see him, is incredibly strong. Just don't do it, right? You'll see the boss when you enter. So, to recap, phase 1 pulls the most important part. Once the tank goes in, we're waiting 5 seconds, and then the rest of the raid's going in, and we're getting in our spot ASAP.
Even healers will be doing
Cthulhu will do 3 to 4 I-beams directed on the tank, and then pause for about 10 seconds, and then resume I-beams on random players.
At the top of this hill, just for the new couple of players, so everyone stand on square and look out.
Once the fight is starting, or no, has started, we are actually on a timer for phase 1 because of an ability called Dark Glare. And now what Dark Glare is going to do is Cthulhu will choose a random direction and just look in that direction. And when that direction is chosen, he will shoot a massive beam in front of him. Like just, it's a room-wide beam in that direction he's looking. And then once he is looking in that direction, he will start to rotate that beam clockwise or counterclockwise. So you just simply do not want to be near that beam in general, because of it could turn, towards you and you can't react fast enough, and you'll just die. The beam does one-shot you, does a massive amount of damage. So we will be rotating with the boss as he is doing his I-beam.
Alright, so where are they pulled?
More importantly, he does spawn ads during this time, the little eye tentacles.
So you need to know there's two phases here.
Ranged
Phase
will be mostly killing these eye tentacles. Healers, there's no real healing for this phase, so kill the eye tentacles, kill the boss.
The whole raid will be stacked back here, the tank will be up here,
and
you don't make a gap between the ranged and the
there could be another little tentacle that pops up from the ground.
He's around the corner.
Its name escapes me right now, but what it does is when it pops up out of the ground on a random player, it'll knock them in a random direction. So if you're a melee during Dark Glare, you need to be max melee of Cthulhu, because what this could do is the stock spawns below you, knocks you into Cthulhu's hitbox, and Cthulhu's hitbox will then punch you away from him. And during Dark Glare, it's possible that you get punted into Dark Glare and die instantly.
They think if they walk too far forward, oh, this person got bogged out of their way.
So it's just very important to understand what's going on during Dark Glare. After Dark Glare is probably the most dangerous part of the fight if we do see after Dark Glare, because the boss will resume I-beams. When the boss does resume his I-beam, it's very possible that the raid is clumped up because of their movement from Dark Glare.
These two, then him, then these two. These two died.
You need to be
aware
of your position, and also aware of where the Dark Glare is going to end, so you can be in position if, in the event that we see the end of Dark Glare. Ideally, you want to kill Cthulhu in Dark Glare, and then phase 2 will begin.
I would consider this sort of northwesterly. He's going to start in that direction.
I will explain
log in, then
phase
log out
2 when we get there. It's a relatively easy
It's going to-
phase.
Oh, so it's facing top right.
The
Okay.
I-beams
So it's gonna
are
start doing a clockwise or
still
counterclockwise spin.
a factor
All these ads are going to start casting
in
a channel
phase
mind
2,
play. When they do, you can
but
just counter
the
hit them. They'll immediately stop and do nothing.
the way in which
Just
they're
hit them,
handled is very,
and
very
then
easy.
just
So
kill the boss,
there
okay? You
is
can kill
just
the ads,
two
they have like 1,000
major
health. It doesn't matter. Everyone runs in. The melee
tentacles
will
or
always
ads
in.
that
That's
spawn
these
in
guys.
phase 2 is the giant
Will come in.
claw
And see
tentacle
how the
and the
beam happened? It
giant
was
eye
pointing this way?
tentacle.
So if it was pointing this
Lo
way,
and
you shoot it,
behold,
and you
the
saw the beam
giant
coming,
eye
you would have to, like,
tentacle is the
dodge
one that
and then
will
come in,
cast
right?
the I
And you
beam.
dodge this way and then come in. Right?
Good thing for the raid
Everyone's
is
popping all
that
their
this
damage.
eye tentacle
Every
can
single
be
button hit.
stunned,
Recklessness, fucking
interrupted,
Money Rage,
and killed
fucking,
relatively quickly without a
Flask,
tank having to worry about picking it up.
Death Wish, Adrenaline Rush. I don't care. Pop all of it.
We usually want to
Every
have a
single button.
paladin Hammer of
Until the boss
Justice it
dies.
for
Okay.
the full
Once this dies,
duration
you all
before
stand in the
any
south half of the
warrior
arena,
gets
and
in
to this
there and
half. See this sort
intercepts
of
and
bottom
whatnot.
3 triangles? You stand in this half.
And we just
You
kill
spread
it.
out. Big claw spawns. It gets a pally hodge. It gets a tank on it. It dies. Giant eye tentacles spawn. Do not intercept them, warriors. I know it's tempting, but do not do it. If it's already
A
stunned,
major
you can intercept
mechanic
it.
of
It's already been
phase
hodged,
2
but otherwise don't.
is getting
And
eaten
you just kill them.
and going down
Meanwhile,
to what
people are
is
getting
called
eaten. This
Cthulhu's
person just
stomach.
got eaten. You just got sorely got knocked downstairs. You
Once
kill the
you
big claw.
get eaten, don't
Everyone's sort of
panic.
loosely spread. They're
You
kind of two
just
stacked here,
want
but that's
to
fine. It's not too bad.
get onto a
See that claw?
platform while
Someone
you're
gets
down
eaten. This
there.
person's now in the stomach.
You want
In
to
the stomach,
kill
person's got a
one
picture of that.
of the
In the
tentacles
stomach,
down
there's two
there
ads. There's one on
and
the right. There's
leave
one on the left.
one
You kill the right ad
alive
immediately.
at
The
very
left
low
ad should be pushed
HP.
really low and
The
not
reason
killed,
for
okay?
this
So
is
if you're a
because
healer
for
down in the stomach,
the
you heal everyone up
tentacles
and you
down
leave.
there, once there's 2 of them total,
For
sorry,
DPS, you need to leave
and once both
like
of them
7
die,
stacks. One
Cthulhu
thing to
will
note, see this
go
timer? Yeah, see how it says
into
eye
a
tentacle, giant
vulnerable
eye tentacle in
state
the middle of your screen?
where he takes increased
It says
damage,
this. It spawns a giant eye under
and
play.
he will
If you get hit in the stomach and you
ideally
get thrown
die
out
in one phase
and
of
knocked all the way over
the
here,
being
and then
vulnerable.
giant eye spawns under you,
If
no
you
one's
are
gonna be able
in
to
the
take it, and it's
stomach,
gonna kill us all.
when
So
Cthulhu
if this is
dies,
happening, if giant eye
you
is
will
happening,
also
I'm gonna tell
die.
you not to leave the stomach right now. Once the giant eye spawns,
The important
you
thing
can leave the
about
stomach, okay?
the stomach
Very
is you
simple.
do get a
And then when the
stacking,
boss gets killed,
damaging
the,
nature
giant claws are spawning,
dot.
knocking everyone away, they're getting stunned,
You
dodged,
take
they can
increased
kill, it's
damage
not
for
fun.
every stack that
Once the
you're
giant,
in there, and
once the
stacks
eyes downstairs get
increase
killed, the boss becomes vulnerable.
for the duration while you're down there. So they'll eventually one-shot you. How to exit is there is a platform in the stomach. You jump on the platform and you'll get ported and thrown up into the regular room. The important thing about going out of the stomach is you do not want to go out of the stomach while a giant ice tentacle is set to spawn within the next like 7 or less seconds. The reason being is because if you get thrown into the back of the room and then a giant ice tentacle spawns, the giant eye tentacle spawns on a random player, and that could be you who just got thrown into the back of the room, and the rest of the raid is nowhere near you to interrupt that eye beam. If an eye beam goes off in phase 2, it's very likely that the fight will be over. So it's just very important to not
realistically, only one person should go up at a time on that elevator, and you need to
not be
Phoenix will be saying
near
when it's safe to come up.
Sorry, lost my train of thought.
But if you're at
just
like
watch your
7
timers,
stacks
listen to the raid lead of when it is safe to exit, and when it is not safe to exit the stomach.
You stay there until the big eye is spawned.
GMPP, Hellstone, Bandage. Yes. Yep. Petri doesn't stop the poison damage.
I will be doing more commentary during the fight.
I want to go off of that. If you go on the sphincter and then decide you're gonna run off, if you're indecisive, you're gonna get knocked up anyway, and that is when you're gonna hit your head. You have to commit.
Yeah, you have to commit. You stand on the elevator, you must go. Okay, don't walk on it, then walk off it. You can't do it.
Greetings.
Bless you.
No chick.
Right.
Be careful.
How are ya?
Two
I'm
more
going
things
to-
real quick. Giant Eye can also be stunned. So Hunter,
Yeah, Giant Eye can be
screenshot it
stunned.
if we happen to get a far one or anything.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
most
Rip counter
importantly,
spell.
we need warlocks and mages helping with the fire eyes in phase 2 today. We're down a lot of hunters.
Yeah, so mages, if there's like, let's say Dark Glare spawns in the top right, melee can't go and kill those eyes that are there because they would get fucking incinerated. You can. So mages, you must be like, walking up, give it a fireball, fire blast, give it a counter spell, kill it, okay? I need... Yeah.
Sorry, no, I just wanted to say one more thing. Melee, when it's Dark Glare phase, claw tentacles will still spawn and knock you around. You want to stay max melee so that if you're getting knocked through the boss, you're not getting knocked through the glare. It is vital that you stay max melee so it knocks you away that isn't into the boss. You can run through the boss. The problem is if you run through the boss and you go through the middle, that's where the dark glare is spawning from, and you will get one shot. And back to Owen.
Right. Tyrese, chuck us lead if you can, and then we're gonna probably go pretty soon. Everyone should have Shadow and Nature popped. Lara, Cap, you know where you're going.
This fight does take a lot of prep.
Assignment, because I just forgot.
I will go over the mechanics as the fight is happening as well, because visually it makes more
Lara,
sense.
You're on the right side. Xavier should be to your left. Saladin should be to your right. Okay.
I have one more question.
Yep.
No one should have Troll's Bloods on, right? Because I just want to confirm.
Yes. You should not.
Right click off Troll's Blood. Yeah.
If you were using those.
Any?
All right. Yeah. Some people got ported to the start. Fucking summon Detrent, Gan, Xavier, I guess.
No threat generation at the beginning. You'll all be in combat, but you're not like on his table. Does that make sense? So ideally, he'll just be beaming me.
So this is the wall of Cthulhu. You can see the doorway is right there. If you peek that doorway, you pull the boss.
This time we're not going to grief, and I'm going to have paladin buffs on time, so I'm not going to use diamond flask. I'm going to have diamond flask.
So you just
repop and pre-pop. I have last stand. Don't fucking heal me until everyone's in their spot.
You don't peek that
Don't even blink. Don't drink a potion. Don't buff. Don't do fuck all. As we're running in, all you're doing is running forward with W and jumping, so that if you get dismounted, you've got momentum, right? So you keep going forward. That's it. Once you get into position, melee, just wait a bit.
Just gonna get some
step
buffs
back a bit,
here.
find max melee, and then go. Okay. But don't start attacking the boss right away. You just need to get into position. That's all.
Log in, do hour.
Yep, log in, hour longs, 30 minutes, weapon buff, food, alcohol, get it all running. No pummelers, no pets, no chickens, no fucking any of that, please.
Pets are okay.
Pets are okay, but just, yeah. There's a lot of shit that breaks this fight. Chav, yeah, I see. Look at your spot again. If you don't know where it is, ask me. I'll tell you where it is. Yeah, summon Lara. Make sure you have Greater Nature, Greater Shadow.
Make sure you have your favorite Sabrina Carpenter song booted up.
Nonsense now, dude. I have nonsense on right now.
Dude, I have the chorus for Please Time to When You Intercept.
Good.
Yeah. Watch the Dark Glare, guys. Remember, that's the most scary part here is Dark Glare will happen. You need to get out of the way of it.
I will recap the mechanics when we do the poll.
Melee around, and we just have to deal with it, okay?
And just getting all my ducks in a row.
I-beam means stand still, guys. I-beam means you stand fucking still. That's what he casts. His auto attack is called I-beam. What that? Dark Glare is the big red laser that goes all the way around the room, okay? Dark Glare is Angry Eye.
He'll turn red.
Major laser.
Major laser. Perfect. Alright. Everyone?
Once you have all your buffs in order.
Should have all your buffs. Click yes if you have every buff. I can't fucking... Tyrese, I need raid lead. I'm in group 5. Thank you. Ready if you have every buff.
I've just got 1 minute on potion. Is that a problem?
Yeah, salve isn't needed.
Can I get in, please? Yeah,
say your name.
Can Hideo get in,
Thank you.
please?
Buff Hideo
Run
again.
aspect
Everyone
of wild.
Yeah, wild is good. Everyone should be stacked on square. Alright, I'm gonna give you star.
Give me a 30-second. Or are we ready? Is everyone here?
We should be ready. Is everyone ready?
Okay, so this is the poll here.
Yeah.
Very important. So we have our tank
Do not
here.
go in. Francis is gonna eat his potions. He's got a GMPP up. He'll pop a second GMPP.
Very important during the poll is as much as you want to, do not heal the main tank because you do not want to get on the aggro table until you're in position. So what's going to happen is the tank's going to go in at 5, and the rest of the raid is going to go in on pull.
Jump, no spells.
And remember, we are getting into our position as quick as possible, but you can't use any potions.
Don't go near him. Don't go near him. No spells. No spells.
So we're getting into position.
It's on the right side. Not yet. Not yet. You got GMPP. In position. Rancic, move a bit. You're in the wrong spot. Rancic, you're in the wrong spot.
I'm gonna pop some heals. So what's
Back
gonna
away.
happen now is he's
No
pausing,
more time. You must
and
stand
now
still,
we're
watch your position.
going
Kill
into
pause
the
to
fight
back.
proper.
Two pause
He's
to
going
back.
to start casting random
Get high
I-beams
GMPP.
on players.
Start hitting the boss down.
What you're doing here now
Right,
is you're just pumping the
Pump it,
boss
please.
as hard as you can.
Cap, stop moving.
Cap, stop moving.
Go back to your spot and stand still.
Just pumping the boss
Get
as
ready.
hard as you can, and you're in your position.
Okay.
If you can and you're
Watch where he's
ranged,
aiming. Watch where he's aiming. Watch where he's aiming. Move.
here's
move,
Dark
move.
Glare.
Make sure you have
So
to
we're moving
get the
away.
counterspell. Kill them. All
And the
cooldown.
boss
Go,
is
go.
moving
Fuck up the
away
boss.
from me.
Now.
So now I am in there, I'm DPSing.
Pick those eye tentacles. Counterspell.
Moving clockwise.
We want to
Get
kill
the
Cthulhu here.
boss. It's fine. Move clockwise. Max melee. Melee. Max melee.
So
Move, Cap.
DPS is really
Move.
good right now.
You're going execute phase soon.
We want the eye tentacles dead.
Once this phase ends, kill these fucking off. I want these claws dead. Kill these claws. Kill these claws.
Okay, so we're moving to
Move
stage
fucking
2.
claws.
You move to the
And
stairs.
move south. Move south now. Giant claw. Move south. On square. Everyone on square. You guys are north still. Let's go. South, south, south. Where I'm pinging.
Watch for spawn.
Giant claw. Hodge. Don't intercept, guys. We intercepted.
Go ahead, Altarian, for your Hodge. Thank you. I'll be next Hodge.
Loose spread.
So what
Shadow
we're doing
protection.
now is
I
we're
need
waiting
next
for Giant Eye Tentacle.
Hey guys.
You can see your
Where Ransack
timers.
is right now is his back.
This is...
Right?
The fight is very, very easy from here on out. So I'll get eaten here. Really good that I did.
I can't see anything upstairs. Randy, if you just want to call eye tentacle. Don't leave the stomach.
So
right
Eye
now.
Tentacle is
Get ready
about to
dodge it,
spawn,
intercept.
so I do not want to hit the platform.
You can leave.
I kicked that.
Kill the big eye. Kill the big eye.
Sloppy, you're calling for now.
Get next eye tentacle.
Phoenix is leaving. Don't come here yet. And Bepis.
Tentacle 1 is at 40%. Tentacle 2 is
So you can see I'm just getting a stacking debuff,
Go back to the south side, guys.
new big
and
eye.
no Giant Eye Tentacle is about to spawn, so
Rameses
I'm
or
going to
Altarian,
leave
you
here
can
pretty
hold
soon.
Get ready, eye tentacles. I want mages counterspell.
Get on
Eye
the
tentacles,
platform,
get the back ones. Eye tentacles,
and
the
you
back
get
ones.
knocked.
Hodge the eye, giant eye.
What you want to do
Hodge the giant eye and kill it. The giant claw. Sorry, giant claw. Chow, watch yourself.
I petried.
Okay. Unpetri your full health.
is you move. Like you're just
You get downstairs,
back
kill the
into
right one,
position
please.
immediately.
It's almost dead, and left one is at 25%.
Yeah, we're
25? Get it a little lower, don't push it yet. Don't push it yet. A little lower is fine. Get out of the, don't get out of the stomach yet.
What happened here
Do not
also
leave yet.
is around the boss, little eye tentacles spawn, and range just need to take care of
Guys,
those.
remember where the back is.
Get ready to hodge. Yeah, I'm downstairs, I'll push it. Kill the
Giant
big
eye
hodge it,
tentacle.
Kidney. You can leave, guys. Altarian,
Go in
stay
Hodge.
with me, Summit.
It's kind of unlucky because it was on me.
Tell me when it's dead, Randy. Tell me when it's dead.
It's dead. Big eye's dead.
Right, push, 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 push.
We killing it?
Yeah, go.
And then we killed all the little eye
You can leave, you can
tentacles.
leave.
Target change.
Cthulhu's weakened, and now we're going. Full DPS while he's weakened. You want to stand around here because this is the back of the boss, so you're not going to get
Jump out and
parried.
jump out after, okay?
If you are
Cool down,
down
go, go, go.
in the stomach,
Melee,
you
healers,
are
damage.
you
Healers,
need to
damage.
get out. Like it's just as simple as that. If Cthulhu dies and you're in the stomach,
I'm out.
You have 20
You
seconds.
will
Go,
die.
go, go. You have damage. Pump it.
He's dead on my fucking screen.
Execute phase.
so very dangerous. But I mean, like that seemed easy, but it's still very, very dangerous.
Good job.
Oh, go!
Oh my god. Holy shit. And that fucking bell.
Holy.
Extremely good loot.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Actually got good items.
Good
Get to
job.
Ouro.
We got really good items.
Yeah, we need to go to Ouro, guys. We don't have time. So loot the boss.
Holy.
The belt map
Altarian,
right there.
Altarian, are you
Let's
confident?
fucking go.
That
Yeah.
human, do you understand what I need you to do?
Clean Cthulhu kill. What was
So that was a really good Cthulhu
that
kill.
Would you be comfortable doing
Um,
the target for Altarian?
And
Just
it's
in
just
range and
it's just a
look
matter
ready.
of knowing what's going to happen
Thank you.
as it's coming, right? So you
Jack
just
doing the-
do I need to exit the stomach now?
Go away
Can
from
I
the
exit
head,
the stomach
Lee.
now?
Go
Go
away.
away.
My stacks
The
are
tail.
getting high. Maybe I
That's
leave
what it would
early,
be a
even
little
at
bit
2 to
closer
3
than what I'm
stacks
saying.
to avoid
Yeah.
the eye tentacle, or
Okay, so
to,
for this fight,
you know, save myself because I'm not going to last that long.
Summit, Shab, and Drak. I consider you all tanks. Like I don't care which
Am I
threat at any
in the
point, as long
correct
as
position on phase
you
1 for
fight
eye
for it.
beam?
You can salve Icy when.
Oh, it's dark glare time. Am
Altari,
I
make sure you don't
doing
have salve on, just in case. I don't think
what
it
I
affects
need to
the
do
G buff, but
to
it's fine.
avoid dark glare?
I want your Paladin constants if possible.
And then also, will I be in a good
I want
position
you in
after
tank here,
dark
just
glare,
fighting for top
if
front,
we
okay? It's
see
kinda like
after dark
patchwork, I just want
glare,
you sort of being on
to
top
avoid
in
further
case.
eye beams?
Yeah, you'd be the 5th. You just want to do as much damage as you can. I mean, tank gear not necessarily required, but
Should we log out here?
Just because.
yeah, log out for a second. Yeah, I need to summon Constance.
You can kick me. Phoenix.
Yep. Yeah, Icy is not a tank for this. Okay, so guys, this fight's kind of like a Hakar mixed with
Bisseret.
Yeah, it's kind of like a card mixed with like a knockback guy from TG. So the point is, what we're going to do is we're going to have Altarian on the left side, and that gnome on the left side.
So moving on to
that gnome's going to be
Ouro.
closer than Altaria, and that gnome, sorry, that human is going
Ouro
to get,
on paper
spam Greater Blessing of Kings,
is
right?
extremely easy.
Altarian should be
streaming, or you just?
But at the same time,
No,
Ouro
there's no real like,
can be very dangerous in practice. So what happens is the main gimmick here is
and
Ouro
the tank
has
will
an
be
attack
sort of
what's called
120
a
degrees away from
sandblast.
triangle and 120 degrees
And
away
that
from
sandblast
Altarian,
is
okay?
directed at
So
the
the tank know
person
where that
with
is.
the
It's sort
most
of
threat,
3 quadrants.
so
It's
usually the
melee
main
quadrant,
tank,
it's the Altarian
and it
quadrant,
will
and
set
that's
their
Pentagram, okay?
threat to 0.
I guess
So we need multiple tanks chasing.
Who's in Discord, mute your mic,
And the thing about the sandblast
Every now and then the boss is
is
gonna
it
do a
is
sweep.
a
When the
180
boss does a
degree
sweep, the problem with the
wave
sweep is
in
it's kinda
front
like
of the
Time Knife, you can
boss.
resist it. It's a threat drop.
So you need
But if you
to
resist it and you're in
be
melee, the boss will one-shot you. Okay?
behind the boss
So
at
either you
all
can lift during
times,
a
but you also
sweep
need
to
to
make sure you
understand
don't
where
die,
the main
or you
tank
could
is
move back during
standing
a sweep
so that you can
get
be
further
behind the
away
boss
and you're away from the
when
boss's main
his
okay?
sandblast goes out.
Tanks, you should probably all stay in.
We're going to do a little
right?
bit of a
Never move
cheese
back.
strategy
Tanks just stay
involving
in all the time. If the
involving
tank
a
gets swept,
paladin
Drak is tanking,
and blessing of kings.
Drak gets swept. And
So
then
what's going to happen is we're going to have a paladin and a warrior.
Drak will move back to where Ranzig was, okay? You just swap places. So tanks, if you're doing it, you did it
We're going to have a paladin and a warrior.
It shouldn't happen. Basically, what should happen every time is that Drak gets knocked.
Go over to the left, and what this is going to do is the paladin is going to put Righteous Fury on, and then just spam Blessing of Kings on that warrior at a 45-yard range around there. What this is going to do is it's going to skyrocket the paladin's threat, and the thing about Sandblast is it has a 40-yard range. So Ouro will face that paladin, Sandblast, and go back to the main tank. The other gimmick about this fight is a submerge. So when Ouro can't hit anyone in melee range, he will submerge. So we want our tanks to always be in melee range of him because he is a stationary boss, and that will delay the submerge. After a certain amount of time, a submerge will happen anyway, but he can early submerge if no one is in melee range of him.
So burrow is really bad. However, if it does burrow,
the
tanks just all need to kind of spread out and get ready to get on that boss.
The idea is to kill Ouro before a single submerge happens, and then we spread out for the AoE on the ground, and then kill the adds, and it's over. It's just those two main gimmicks: is the Sandblast, and the submerge. He also does a knockback that will knock back all melee, so that's why I stress importance on melee, specifically tanks. Be ready to, intercept back, bear charge, whatever you need to do to be that person in melee range, so you delay his submerge.
Somewhere else, or they're legitimately just going to try and stay below the paladin?
They're going to stay below.
Okay. So
if they got a drop ignite, yeah, Imaginitis, if you see the Scorch catching the tanks, you just tell them to drop all frostbolts, okay?
And that's the fight. Like, it's simple on paper, could go very wrong in practice if you're just caught out of position.
Right afterwards. You need to be in range to start spamming Greater Blast. You don't go
So
into the boss. You're like
the way this is going to go is the paladin is going to be, at one spot,
You guys need to be
180 degrees,
They know they're not.
you know, away
Yeah,
from
we know
that
where we're going.
is
We
going
got-
to
Last time we
be,
did this, Altarian wasn't in range. The
you know,
Black
the
was
tank.
missing, but it's like he knows what the distance
And
is
at
now.
a third spot, like
Everyone
kind of
log
like in a triangle. It's hard to envision without actually being
in,
there,
log
right?
in.
But like there
Melee,
is
lip in
a
case
spot
you
you can
don't-
stand
like,
that
if you-
is
Guys, if you're
safe
really
from the
close to this boss
sandblast
in
from the
sweeps,
paladin that's
and
going
you
to take
resist
it,
the sweep and you
or
don't get
the
knocked
main
back,
tank
you are
that
in a lot of danger, okay?
might take
You
it
must immediately
should
live or petri, because
the
you will
paladin
just
not
get
be
one-shot.
generating
Boss is
enough
really
threat.
hard.
Luckily, we have druids that are good players. They'll probably feral and
Yeah.
charge in time.
Shab and Drac are going to feral charge. They're going to be fine. Alright.
Okay.
Yahoo login.
Yeah. Yahoo log in. We'll get paladin buffs.
Don't be asleep. Don't be asleep.
Oh no.
Okay, so we're gonna buff up.
Done. Paladin buffs out.
Salves are
Make
important here. So
Yeah, salves are important. Tanks need to make sure you don't have it. Jab, summit, copy guys like Drac. Altarian, make sure you don't have it. Right. Yeah, this boss wasn't pulled from melee. You guys can kind of come in. Everyone on triangle, please. Except for those two.
You pulled Nemery?
So
Yeah,
we have our
pull
paladin
someone.
going.
Give me a second.
How much time do you need?
I was just telling Altarian to do something, but I think he's got it.
Behind the tanks.
5, 4,
Jack, are you MT?
3.
Okay.
Alright, so here we go.
Jack is going to move the boss around the position, okay? Everyone else is on triangle, max melee.
And this is the
Alright,
general
good.
position.
Get ready for the knockback. You can stay in for a bit. Alright.
So you can see I am in a position where I'm not going to get sandblasted from
Tank stay in.
the main tank's sandblast,
Sandblast should hit Altarian. Wait, hit the tank. It hit the tank, it's fine.
but I'm also in a position that if the paladin gets sandblasted,
Altarian's
that
creeping up. Magic
I'm
click,
not
drop the
going
ignite.
to.
Drop the ignite really badly. You must petri magic. Yep, just
But
petri.
I'm not
So
going to
knock
get
back,
hit
stand
by the
back.
paladin.
Knock back if you resist lip. Sloppy. It should sandblast.
There's the sandblast.
No, it's fine. Altarian needs to overtake Ranzig. That's the problem. Ranzig has it.
So Kings is working after the next sandblast. The paladin cheese will be in effect. It's just we're a little bit light on one class right now, so like
Sandblast should hit
Kings
Ranzig,
is
Drac. Right, cooldowns. Watch threat on drag, please. Watch threat on drag.
Kings is you can see it like Altarian's at like 50k, right? But like the tanks are taking over. It's not a huge deal,
Step back a bit.
right?
Sweep back. Step back. But if you need to, intercept. Enrage. Big heals on drag. Watch the sandblast. It should hit drag. It should go to Shab. Yahoo! 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 It's on Shab. Heal Shab big. Heal Shab big. Kill the boss now. Execute. Watch threat. Lip if you must execute. Lip if you must. Kill the boss and knockback here. Watch this. Watch this. Look, I resisted. That's really fucking bad. Popcorn, move.
That's
move.
it.
Move on
So
popcorn.
you want to avoid the popcorn.
Yeah, still in a fight. Move.
And what
Heals on
the
me.
popcorn does is it does
Roberto.
damage to you while you're under it, and then ads will spawn from the popcorn
If
itself.
Ad's gonna spawn, we'll just get AoE taunts into it. Zappers here.
Moving next to triangle right now.
Hey, get away. Don Rigoberto! Okay, let's go. Group 'em up.
Right, and then ads are spawned.
Good AQ, everyone, guys. It was a bit sketchy at the start. We did the last bosses very well.
There we go.
Very, very good.
That will conclude the
This
guide.
is cringe. I want like 33 engineers before we do Acidus, man.
Grab your insignia.
I need 14 more warlocks who spam Shadow Bolt, and 5 more bopping paladins.
Excellent work, fellas.
John Diehard.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. And have a good one.
Fellas and